scary.
Seinfuck.
What would you name your single if you thought that this was like, this is a hit, guys, this is it?
Ooh, Bush Olympics.
That's pretty good. There's multiple connotations associated with the two words. The double entendre always sells.
Bush Olympics more sounds like the band that has a one-hit wonder, though.
That's pretty good. I think you should do a self-titled single on the self-titled album.
Oh, and get like you have like one of those suits with the ruffs.
Yeah, exactly. So when the little blurb comes up in the lower third chyron that tells you like the band name, record label, and stuff like that, it just says Bush Olympics, Bush Olympics, Bush Olympics.
Bush Olympics, yes.
Victory
Perfect.
Records.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome.
It's like Buffalo, but it's Bush Olympics, Bush Olympics, Bush Olympics.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. More cowbell,
I
etc.
think mine would probably be Once a Day and One More. That would be the name.
that is something that you would
good.
see on those charts, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Just looking at it, there it is at number 49.
It's just a really soft, like, and baby, when you. It's just like a guy sounds like someone is like actively pinching his balls when he sings this song.
So it's like a soft ballad almost. It's like a soft ballad.
Yeah.
You ever seen that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force where Carl finds that shit that makes him grow hair? And he's got some fucking random hooker on his couch and he's going, whittly where, whittly, whittly where. Like he's doing air guitar. He's like, whittly where, whittly where. That's called I Wanna Rock You, in parentheses, till the morning comes.
I do like.
Gentlemen, her name is Gargura.
Her in parentheses.
VTubers famously usually not women on the other side. Malcolm, do you have much exposure to VTubing in general?
No, not at all.
None at all?
Not really. Like I guess I've obviously heard of them, but I've never like actively sought out watching anything that a VTuber would do because I just don't think of it
either.
as,
we just know about them because we both love unfortunate sides of the internet and perpetually hate ourselves.
Well, Guargura is a shark, and I seen one for a San Francisco AAA team as well, but this one was like very obviously a woman. Very obviously a woman. Very obviously a woman. Her name, gentlemen, is Gargura.
Okay, yeah, VTuber.
She's a shark. She's got a shark tail. I've seen people speculate: does she like shit the shark out? Is a shark being shoved up her ass? It's a great question. I think it's growing there, however. She's singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at a Dodgers game on July 5th, I believe.
And can you just play a little bit of that clip?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
This is very much Ninja at the New Year's celebration energy.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, did you see that, Malcolm?
I did. I remember that. That was like, this is sad.
It's
like
incredibly sad. This is that energy.
Yeah, this is why like social media people can never really transition to like mainstream because it's like there's just a different skill set that you need.
Yeah.
And like it's one thing to be like, oh, I film myself, millions of people watch me, but you're like by yourself or you're like with a skeleton crew. And there's another thing to like have to interact with almost anyone else.
Yeah, and there's a switch. There's like oh yeah, you're popular amongst a bunch of like young adults, teenagers, and everything like that. Millions of people watch you, whatever. But then you have to kind of contend with the fact that most of the people in public watch Yellowstone and nothing else.
That's such a proper diagnosis. Is the worst part. I've never seen Yellowstone. I have no interest in the premise, but I've never met a person who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen Yellowstone. I will say it's a wild show. It's like what it is that so there's one man who really writes every episode. It's Taylor Sheridan, and he started off with like very grand, like, oh, I'm going to do all this stuff. Like it was going to be like a Western with like kind of like a mafia element to it. I was like, okay, that's kind of it's like modern.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy, kind of a criminal element, but down home on the range kind of deal.
Exactly, which is crazy because he, like Taylor Sheridan, the guy who created the show, was the cop on Sons of Anarchy. Like that's his like origin story. And then he quit acting because they wouldn't give him a pay raise. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm going to start screenwriting," and then wrote Sicario.
Oh yeah,
and then
that's
he just
right.
like blew up.
Which is
So
good for him. The kid, keep being a screenwriter. I'm pretty sure you're a better screenwriter than an actor.
But the show descends into chaos after like the first season. Like the first season, it's like, oh, it's just this fun thing, the family, all this. And by the point, like I stopped watching. Like Kevin Costner's character is running for governor, despite the fact that he's killed, I don't know, 20 people during the course of 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like
YouTube is constantly recommending me a video which is Kevin Costner's character, whatever, makes a biker gang dig their own graves. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they have this whole thing on the ranch where it's like there'll be like a guy who's like knows too much, and they're like, all right, give him a ticket to Wyoming. And it's like, okay. They're driving the car and then they just pull up to the side of a cliff and just go like, boom. And they go back to this cliffside, I don't know, about 5 or 6 times in the course of 3 seasons. Like, and I'm just like, there's got to be so many bodies at this point, just like
I guess no one checks.
Rotting on this cliffside.
How is no one smelling anything?
Well, it is like supposed to be like in like a rural part, like kind of off the side of the highway, but still.
The animals probably eat the corpses.
Yeah,
that's fair, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. If people who die out to sea, all their limbs wash up on shore, surely isn't there like a woodland equivalent of that? Like, oh yeah, the coyote's gotten to Bill and carried his hand 6 miles that away, and a small prairie house found it.
Yeah, but you know it's crazy because
did you have to use that away? You have to look down your nose while you say that away to me.
But yeah, and also in the course of the show, like Kevin Costner is shot and left for dead off the course of on the side of a highway. His daughter survives like an explosion, like where she's literally in a building that explodes, and then she like survives. She has all these scars. His other son is also like survives multiple like ambushes from like just random like gangsters.
It's a soap opera.
It is.
So many words, it's a soap opera.
I mean, I can totally get why people like love the show because it is ridiculous. Like, and like the main like female character, like the daughter, is always just like this one brother, and she always plays it as being like, you fucking piece of shit. I fucking hate you. And you're like, no nuance. You're just like, fuck you. You know what you did to me. And it's like they spend multiple seasons like not explaining what he did. And he's like, I'm trying to make it up to you. I don't know what. He's like, I'm going to fucking kill you one of these days.
Did we ever find out what he did?
Yeah, they do reveal it. It's kind of sad. Like she like
no spoilers.
All right, no spoilers. Cut that.
Well, you haven't seen it, Robert?
No, I haven't seen it. That's why I'm fucking weirded out by it.
All right, well.
Jean-Marc Strauss has a great bit about like, you know, trying to define the different like stages of like, you know, there's like pedophiles and there's like hemophiles and stuff. But like, if you try to like be specific about it, he does it with about R. Kelly, but you try to be specific about it, you end up being you sound like a pedophile. Like
you sound a lot like a pedophile when you make those distinctions.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
And it's a great bit, but it's also true. You're like, yeah, no, like you can't.
Well, it's not changing anybody's mind is the problem. It's usually when you do satire and commentary like that, you're trying to like fucking prove a point. There's no point here. It just seems kind of like you're fucking.
It does feel a bit like punching down, being like,
punching
ha,
down.
look at the real world hoarders that you have to deal with. Now watch us punch it to make ourselves laugh.
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is those people that go around calling like random celebrities and fucking administrative people pedophiles, is that they're going to see stuff like that and they're just being like, well, they're just trying to make it so that word means nothing, so it's not as big a deal, you know?
It's that thing of it's like the whole groomer discourse where it's just like, okay, groomer. I'm like, shut the fuck up. If you're saying that, like if you're responding to people with that, you know, word, I'm like, you're the groomer, because anyone and any adult who uses it, not good. You're
it's
like, you fucking
extremely strange and unsettling when people, no matter who they are, focus so much on, you know, that that is such a broad fact.
Before
but you get what I'm saying.
were talking,
I mean, it's
a little
very obviously more recently a problem because of the internet.
Oh,
I mean,
internet.
You say whatever you want about the whole thing.
Absolutely. Just the immediate like dopamine rush people get from being like, ha, I'm making fun of someone online. I'm typing words and doing death threats.
Oh, for sure. Like it's that. Like I don't know if you've seen this recently, but you know that trend of like raw dogging flights. Like
I've seen this.
Like,
I've seen this.
It's so
is
funny.
so stupid. It's so
It definitely, it's a bit American Psycho-ish, being just like,
Alone with my thoughts in a tube for 5 hours with only the hum of the engines to accompany me. I don't know.
like here's the thing. They're airplanes are loud. They're not comfortable. Like, and also here's the thing. Everyone who posts a fucking TikTok in which they're like, look at me raw dogging. You're not raw dogging because you're filming yourself.
Yeah, you're on
That's
TikTok.
not raw
Yeah.
dogging. Raw dogging is you put your fucking phone down, you don't film, and then you
Stare at the seat
and you
back.
shut up about it. Yeah.
You stare. Yeah, exactly. Like I accidentally almost had to raw dog a flight once. Like I was flying to Ottawa. They were like, oh, the flight will have internet. I was like, oh, perfect. Didn't really download anything onto my iPad. So I was like, I'll just use the internet connect. That'll be cool. Get on the flight. We get takeoff and they're like, oh, Wi-Fi is down for the flight. And I was like, oh no. But you know what I did? I did the normal thing, which was I took a shit ton of sleeping pills and I slept my way through that flight.
Oh, yeah, it's very healthy. The old Jim Cornette.
Extremely healthy.
Yeah.
I do that with alcohol, Malcolm.
Well,
I
I mixed it with alcohol. I was like, it was a morning flight, and they're like, "What do you want to drink?" And I was like, "Get me a whiskey and Coke." Like, this,
Malcolm didn't want to wake up until he was back from his vacation.
I was like, I got a 6-hour flight. I
got these pictures from Bali. I didn't even go to Bali.
yeah. I was like in and out. I was like, oh, and then luckily I found that I had like one thing like downloaded on my iPad, and I watched that, which was just like a stand-up special that I regretted watching immediately.
Oh no. I read. I always read on planes, so I think people look at me weird.
No, that's a smart thing. I should have had a book. I thought I usually have a book packed in my bag as like a travel book, but this time didn't do that because I thought I had Wi-Fi. But would you raw dog a flight? Have you ever raw dogged a flight?
Oh, absolutely. I've raw dogged a flight from, I think I raw dogged a flight down from Canada after my brother's wedding because my phone was completely out of batteries. I had absolutely no, the phone plan on it was up because I was only using Wi-Fi on it and flight didn't have Wi-Fi. It was like a 6-hour flight and I'm just sitting there as a baby pukes next to me. It was great. And I got home and found out my dog had a stroke. So hell yeah.
Yeah, flights are cool.
Flights are cool.
I did.
He's never raw dogged.
I almost raw dogged one because my phone was dead too, but I also ordered a meal on the plane, so I don't think that counts because the food is entertainment.
That's the thing, is that like you can't even engage with like food, like so you just have to sit there and get be hungry as well. Is that part of the trend?
I don't know.
That's part of. I mean, if it's a flight from Arizona, like from Phoenix to Las Vegas or something,
that's nothing. Yeah,
that's nothing. You can raw dog that. You can just stare. You can be alone with your thoughts for an hour and a half. And if you can't, you need to lay off Adderall.
Consult a therapist and potentially.
Yeah. Like I guess the question is like if the flight is under 2 hours, and you like I guess quote unquote raw dog it, like is that really raw dogging, or does it need to be like a longer flight? Like does it need to be like 2+ hours? Like that's when you really get in.
Well, Malcolm, I could argue also that sleeping is a form of entertainment. So
that's true.
Yeah.
You dream.
Well, that's it. That's why I wasn't raw dogging it. I drugged myself and put myself to sleep.
This is stupid. This whole idea is stupid.
Oh no! Okay. It is. Well, no.
We can blame Dr. Andrew Huberman and the Huberman Lab and his junk science for this.
Absolutely junk science. But let's take this a bit further. How much money would it take for you to take a flight from, let's just say, like Vancouver or San Diego, somewhere on the West Coast, to Japan? So like something like an 18-hour flight and completely raw dog. How much would it take for you to do it?
I wouldn't do it with no entertainment. I would rather jump out the plane.
Really? Just no? Even if they like paid you?
How much are they paying me?
That's what I'm asking you. How much money would it take?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. How much money?
It's a 10-hour flight.
Yeah, it's about a 10-hour flight from Vancouver to Tokyo. Let's try New York to Tokyo. That's got to be closer to like 18 hours.
It's like a 28-hour flight or something like that.
It's about 14 hours.
Okay.
My God. I want to get paid a year's wage.
Wow.
All right.
At least.
I think here's
Who's
the
here?
thing. It's an easier thing for me to be like, I don't need the highest amount to do it, but I think I could do it if like I knew like all my expenses in like my whole trip to the, like, say to Japan would be like covered.
Yeah, like your
I
hotel
only-
is covered.
Yeah,
3
like
meals
all
kind of deal
hotel,
per diem.
like I want to be at 5-star hotels. I want to like eat the best food. Like I want like the trip of a lifetime. I would do that, and I would suffer for the 10 hours. Like, here's the question: is it you just do it the one way, or do you have to like commit to both ways?
I just the one way.
One way, yeah. I say give it. Yeah, I say like or the lowest. I guess lowest would be like 20 grand. That would be like the lowest.
Whoa, you guys are fucking expensive. I'd do it for 3.
What?
Just kind of let me go.
Well, that's the thing. I want it, like I said, I want the best vacation experience. So like I think that's a fair trade-off. 3 is almost too low. Like that doesn't even really cover your trip.
Nah, it's about $800 from Tokyo to Vancouver.
Yeah. And I guess you'll stay at the Love Hotels.
Oh yeah, just the capsule
pods,
hotels
yeah.
and just get absurdly drunk.
You guys heard that they're trying to give the Haktua girl her own reality show?
Yeah, can someone explain the Haktua girl? Because I feel like
What the
No,
fuck
I
is
can't.
Hawk
She's-
to a girl?
She just literally said something on a TikTok about spitting on a dick, and she's famous.
was she like wasn't the right wing trying to like make her a thing as well because she's like a blonde woman?
Yeah, well, they found a school teacher that looked like her, so there was a bit of outrage about that, and they got the school teacher that looked like her fired. So I hope that she gets a lot of money.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
weird.
but I guess here's the question: if one of us got that sort of level of like viral fame from like a street, man on the street interview type, what would you do? Like, how would you really react? Because like I feel like the Haktua girl is doing her best. Like it seems like she's like very overwhelmed by like this because she wasn't seeking out.
I don't know who the fuck this is.
It's a girl that shows. It's literally just a girl who's like, you gotta spit on that dick. You gotta Haktua on that thing. That's literally the extent of the video. You've seen it now.
That's it? That's just it?
That's it.
Yeah.
And she's famous because of that?
She's famous for sucking dick. Yes, Robert.
And there's a show.
Just like your mother. Yeah. No, your mother's a wonderful woman.
Oh yeah. So what it is that so this is how it gets famous. This is a courtesy of The Cut, which is who is the Haktua girl, otherwise known as Haley Welch. Haktua girl is rising to prominence after being featured in a Man on the Street interview from creators Tim and D TV. In the video, she's asked, "What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?" And her response was, "You got to give him that Haktua and spit on that thing." And that's the clip. That's all she did. That's all she
She's got
said.
a show now because of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's close to signing on a reality show. Yes.
Yeah, she's gonna get a reality show. She's already
Harper,
got.
Can we just like run around LA and try to be on street interviews to just to get a career?
I got a good way to get on TV in LA.
Yeah, and I guess this was filmed in Nashville, so that's why everyone thought she was like a right wing person. And then her very first interview, she's just like, "Fuck Donald Trump, I'm voting for Biden." And you're like,
Oh,
Oh
okay,
my
cool.
God.
All right, fine,
A
sure.
representative for Pornhub told TMZ that the website was projecting 4.7 million searches for the term Haktua by Tuesday. So instead of spitting, this is crazy.
Run to the core. It's a bad apple.
We're cooked, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooked. Ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen, gals, and non-binary pals. That's the one.
Yeah, she's literally said in the interview, she goes, 2 weeks ago, it was just me and my granny in itty bitty Belfast, Tennessee, which, by the way, we have to do a side note. What is with U.S. states like naming small towns after more famous?
Don't ask me, dude. I didn't name the fucking states.
I didn't name the cities of the states. Go fuck yourself.
I would have named them like Excelsior, Nevada,
Yeah.
stuff like
And
that.
then, and then I say something silly, and now my life has changed. And then she goes, "Isn't that God great? Can't wait for what's ahead."
God did not tell you to say spit on that thing, ma'am. God isn't the one telling you how to suck dick, just telling you. He actually evaporated a city for that.
Oh, there's already
It's-
people with Hawktua tattoos.
No,
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's gone full circle.
that's how we know we're old because we don't care about this. We're talking about it. We don't care.
I don't care about it, but I will say this. Give that girl her money. That like cash in as much as you can. Like go and be like, I'm bought a house because of this moment.
Malcolm,
Also,
can you put, just real quick, Sasha, can you put "Hail to the Chief" in like a slow fade into what I'm about to say? Malcolm, there's an obsession with getting the bag, with bag chasing. Okay.
Yeah.
In this society, we are constantly told that everything must go, that your soul has a price, and that your bottom line is more important than your bottom line. Your ability to disseminate your person from a commodity is what makes you human. Corporations will have you believe that your talents are less valuable than your ability to ride share, to sell yourself, or to put pictures of your butthole on Instagram.com. And to those who do, I say, take a step back. Think about that butthole picture for a second. Not in the way that it's like, are my spokes showing through the panties enough? I'm saying more, do I need to post this picture of my butthole on the internet? Is it worth the money? Can I get a job? Yes, you can. I believe in you. You can find gainful employment without selling your soul.
Unemployment's like 4% right now.
And to those people, I say, get a job.
I gotta say, Harper, you describing butthole wrinkles as spokes really got me.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Well, come on. All right. They're not arrayed like wrinkles, are they?
Nope, you're right.
You find a butthole that doesn't have spokes, and I'll show you a different orifice.
We found the name of Harper's 80s band, Sphincter Spokes.
Butthole spokes, I think, is already taken on a
Yeah,
subreddit.
I know a buddy of mine, and he really he's been desperately trying to get like an improv group name that he wants it to be called Sphincter of Possibilities.
I would avoid sphincter, I think, in your improv group.
Let's
name.
workshop that one. Let's circle back around.
Let's park that. Great idea. We'll circle back. We have a better one.
Yeah, that one we always use is like when we're like, if coming up with some name and you're like, well, it could be Sphincter of Possibilities. It's like, no, we'll brainstorm more. We'll get a better idea.
It reminds me of something my little brother did one time. He used to do quite a bit of like featuring. He could rap quite a bit. This was at the height of SoundCloud and stuff. And he recalls one of his friends going in the booth and they put the beat on. He goes, sucking a dick and I come on the tits and licking the clit like a licking the spliff. Everyone starts busting up because they're just like, ain't no fucking way that rotten verse just got spit in the booth. That's a classic. Yeah, some people got good ideas, you know. Some people.
Some people got ideas for titles, and some people are Malcolm.
Wow.
Whoa! Yeah,
He knows it's true.
Well, let's play a game then, Malcolm.
Okay.
Me and Robert will take turns. Alternatively, you get one shot at naming a thing.
Okay, so you're gonna give me like pitches for stories, and then I'll name.
No,
Are
we're
we
going to
doing
name a
just
product,
things?
and you're going to name that product.
Wait, what? So you're
I'm a
giving
little confused myself.
Check this out, Malcolm. I have a can of paint. You need to give me a brand name for that paint.
and it can't exist already.
Yeah, it can't exist
That's kind of
already.
the point.
You'll get sued.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I got to challenge you to do better, which is we're not doing the products. We're doing stories. You got to pitch me like a fake like story, like a log line, and then I'll
Okay,
come up with
sure,
the name. I think
sure,
that's
sure. You know
more
what?
fun.
Sure.
And then for the paint can, I'll call it, douse your son. Douse your son.
What?
Douse your son.
It's like paint branded to paint your family with.
Yeah. Douse your
It's
son.
like marketed to be like, this is the paint you can use on your fam.
Yeah, it's when you're like kids are, they want to be painted, and so you have to douse your son.
Douse your son face paint. New from McLeod Industry.
Well, I wouldn't put that with. I wouldn't.
Cloud Industries does sound a little bit like Aperture Science, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. It does
On the
sound like
same
sort
tone.
of post-apocalypse.
Yeah,
sort of like,
this is the best we got.
do.
Kind of ridiculous.
We violate human rights. The company.
It should be known. Douse your son is one word.
Ah, Is it spelled like German as well?
Yes.
Excellent.
It's a translation issue. It makes more sense
in the motherland. It made tons of sense.
it makes more sense in Germany. Yeah.
Okay, Harper, you're up. Logline. Let's get like one from each of us, or two from each of us, and we'll switch off.
A cyberpunk dystopia where fried chicken has microchipped the population.
Ooh.
People are just eating microchips with their chicken, and the government is tracking them with them.
Ooh. Brain fried.
All right, Robert, it's your turn.
I'll give that a 6 out of 10. I'll give that a 6 out of 10.
It's all right.
A man who is seriously overweight and hasn't left the house in several years witnesses his neighbor being kidnapped.
Ooh.
You cannot call it the Buck Harper story.
Let's call it fat phobic.
You could do better than that. That's a 2 out of 10.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
That is a 2 or 3 out of 10.
That's not
That's a bad one.
So
I cut that.
No, you guys stick with that.
All right, man.
You're proving me right.
Yeah, I didn't say
Sasha, put sad piano with the title that Malcolm just said, echoing multiple times.
Let's call it fat phobic. Well, and by the way, if you have better titles than me, you should say it. The other person, not the person.
Okay, well, we'll give you 2 more, and then you give us a log line, and we'll each come up with our own title.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Harper, next log line for Malcolm.
In this medieval world, dragons walk among the populace as people, and they still hoard gold and have their same greedy tendencies. It's up to a brave knight to unveil the Machiavellian scheme of the dragons.
So, like, they're rich.
Fire scale.
Fire scale?
Fire scale.
That could work.
I guess it could kind of work, but that's like
7.
that's definitely like made by committee sort of title. That's definitely a marketing executive was just like fire scale.
Yeah, you disrespect Gilder Drake.
Gilder Drake. That sounds like a German slur.
It might be.
It might just be.
Was Malcolm supposed to think of one? Is that what you were saying?
No, after Robert.
Oh, okay.
How about a man wakes up one morning to realize that he's on the moon and his house is transplanted on top of the surface of the moon and he has no idea how he's surviving. And that's just a sort of like a character study of what each of us would do on a stranded island scenario, but on the moon, and probably get trippy with it.
Okay.
And you can't call it Moon.
Or Luna.
That's already a movie.
movie.
That's like already a movie. I wasn't going to call it that, nor was I going to call it Moonfall.
Did you watch that movie, by the way? We'll come back to it.
It's awful. We can't get distracted.
I tried watching it. We'll talk about it in a moment. Here's a title. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be, God, what did I do to deserve this fate? I am just a man, and I need your guidance in these trying times. How can one be so cruel to me, a simple man living a simple life, and now I'm despondent?
Shut up. Oh my God.
The moon.
That sucked. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. So we went from like 6 out of 10 to 3 or 2 out of 10. And we're really hitting 0 out of 10.
He bounced back to a 6 before going to 0.
It would be the real
Dragon
title.
Scale was a 4 at best.
Right.
Dragon Scale is a real novel,
or
that
like Fire Scale or whatever the fuck you called it.
Yeah,
I just like the idea of dragons are this of being actual billionaires and in modern society. So I like that. Okay,
Robert. Here's the real title. It's called.
We actually have to cut that.
Okay, here's the real one. It's called Crestfallen.
Ah,
Kind of okay.
pretty good.
Yeah. I just wanted to do a long title just to like.
You like your long titles, and I gotta say, Malcolm, they kind of suck.
Long titles always suck. It's not just you. It's Death Grips had a fucking long song title. It was literally just like, you might think he loves you for his money, but I know the real reason is your leopard skin pillbox hat or something like that.
Yeah. No. The long title in this one was just more about just fucking with you because I know you don't like the long titles. All right. Okay. So now
you get a log line. We'll pick up titles for it, and you tell us which is better.
Okay. Here's the log line. It's about a scientist, and he lives in an old mansion that he inherited from his grandfather, and he like works down in the basement all the time. And one day he creates a substance that's called goo matter, and the goo matter starts to like absorb and get bigger and bigger, and he has to find a way to stop it.
That's literally just the gray goo scenario.
Yeah. You also named the goo in question badly.
Here, cut Sasha. Cut that. We'll do a new one.
No. The title of that would be just Gray. It would just be a movie about the gray goo scenario.
I disagree. I think it should be Viscosity. Viscosity is a much better name.
For a second, I thought you were reading the plot to Flubber.
Yeah, I did too. I was going to say that shit. I was going to come up here. I was going to be like, that's just Flubber. What the fuck are you talking about?
I legit thought he was doing Flubber.
No, it did start with that. I always, with these movie pitch games, I always default to Flubber.
All of my log lines, you'll notice that they're mostly Flubber.
They're just Flubber. A man is about to be married, but he's got a new invention.
Yeah. No, but here, so I like, what was Harper's was like velocity? Viscosity. And then what was the gray goose scenario? I don't actually know what that is.
Gray goose scenario is a scientific thought experiment, a theoretical world-ending scenario where scientists create a self-replicating matter that will consumes biological matter, uses the carbon to then create more of itself, which then eat more and creates more and more and more, and an expounding scenario in which all life on the planet becomes this mono-organism, which has been dubbed the gray goo scenario.
Okay. I also was making a pitch that was based on the Blob. It was the Blubber meets the Blob was what I was going for.
Flubber meets the Blob is just Flubber.
Big Flubber.
I would call it, this would be at a great like sci-fi movie that's like, like one of those sleeper hit sci-fi movies that like, the CG in it is awful, but it was actually kind of good.
I think that you could get away with AI Robin Williams in Flubber 2, like that, you know? I think that it's been long enough where people will be like, wow, that really looked like Robin Williams, you know?
Okay, here's another one. I'll do a quick one just because I feel like
I'd call it Gray, by the way, just Gray.
Harper wins.
G-R-E-Y.
Harper wins. It's not even close. And you both pitched me one word.
Viscosity.
It was true. It was the better
Viscosity.
title.
It just
you didn't even know the gray goose scenario was a thing, you dumbass.
Yeah, well, the gray goose scenario sounds like a drinking game. All right, it sounds
like that's true, or an alien-themed porno.
That's really good. That sounds like a drinking game.
Yeah, but the gray goose scenario.
He thinks he's so smart, Malcolm, but I think it's you. I think you're the smart guy.
He's the smarty. He's the smarty.
Don't be stupid. Be a smarty.
Next line, then we'll wrap this bit up with a user submission.
Yeah, so the next one is it's about a man, and he starts to notice that he's being trailed by like an ever-growing shadow, like the shadow that like he's starting to consume, and like as he like ventures out into more of the world, like the world behind him is getting darker and darker.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Shade. I'd call it Shade.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm going to have to go with Umbra.
Umbra?
Synonym for shade.
It's different, yet the same.
Here's the thing that's fascinating. I was given multi-word titles. I was given long titles, short titles. Both of these scenarios, both of the ones I pitched, you guys give one-word titles.
Yeah.
We have to keep their attention, okay? If you tell them that
That's how things work. You really want to
Ray?
fucking the non-possible sense of impossibilities. Who's gonna watch that movie?
Lias Umbra Subnocta doesn't sound as cool.
Just call it shade. It's a fucking. It's a. It's.
Do you see
what
Robert
was-
in his suit, like up against the presentation, going like shade?
No, here's what I would do. I would be like shade, and I write it, and then I turn the S into a dollar sign.
Shut the fuck up.
God damn it. Listen, I honestly, I'm feeling, especially from Robert, because Robert, you were talking a real big game, that I'm more vindicated from your answers than I was before this. Like, I feel like my titles, some of them were good. I'm going to admit that right now. The users can write in and tell me if my titles were bad or not. But I want to say I feel like I had slightly more creative titles than what you guys both pitched me, which were
You
one-word
think
titles.
that you were better than
One
both
was
of
called
us?
for Robert. For Robert. The first one was gray, and the next one was shade. All right, that's
Yeah, because it's gray goo. I have actual thought into it.
I
and
let the
mine
story
is shade.
do the talking.
Shade is ominous.
It could be anything.
Explain one thing about any of your titles and why they were good.
They were unique. All right.
Busted ass fork is unique.
Like you need to step up in the algorithm. If I put in shade book movie, I'm gonna get like 50 different things, and one of those is gonna be 50 Shades of Grey.
I don't see the part where this is bad yet.
Yeah, no, I really don't. That's
We're
actually what
drawing
the fuck.
in the mommy porn audience and bringing them a cinematic experience they can tell their husbands
Oh.
about.
They can
Or perhaps
actually
their
brag
wives.
about watching and not just join to.
Fucking roll, both of you. All right.
Okay.
We're giving them an experience that they can take home as a bit of intellectualism that they've consumed in their otherwise dreary and empty lives.
I do kind of find it funny that both shade and gray, it's 50 Shades of Grey. If you had another one, it'd be really funny if it's
Yeah,
like
Robert's
50.
just like 50. Yeah.
That would be
Okay,
pretty
here's
funny.
here's the next one. Here's the next one.
No. We have a user submission.
Let
We're
him do
over
one
time.
more.
I gotta
Let him
go.
do one more.
Okay. Okay. The next one is a man discovers that he has a series of identical looking people that are roaming the earth. They're not quite doppelgangers, but they're not quite genetic siblings either, and they're all being targeted by a secret organization.
How many of them are there?
That's up to you to decide.
I'm going to
It's
say
50.
I'm going to say great minds.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's I like that, but I'm pretty sure there's too many movies probably called Great Minds.
Is that true? Is there a single
think
movie
so.
called Great Minds?
I'm pretty sure there
I'm
are.
sure
but
there is.
I'm sure there are. I would call it Alone, but then put the Alone stylistically in parentheses.
There's a 2017 French, I believe it's a French
Doesn't count.
movie
French doesn't count.
called Great
The
Minds.
French don't count.
It's not real people. We've established this.
But yeah, actually there's none. Yeah, there's no you look up Great Minds TV or movies, and the first thing you get is A Beautiful Mind.
Not only is the market untapped, but frankly, it's wide open.
But why is it called Great Minds based on the premise?
Great
of it?
minds think alike, and you look alike because they're doppelgangers.
You might as well just call it Great Minds Look-alike.
Yeah.
It's too long. The kids will never get it.
Shut the fuck up.
Sasha,
Okay.
chime in. Who won? Did I win? Did Harper win? Or did Robert lose? That's what I want to know.
We all lost.
Robert's face, for those who can't see it, it just looks like something expected happened to him. Something bad he expected to happen. He closed his eyes
It's
and
my
accepted
everyday life. It's
Oh.
I
No,
expect.
no.
It's already
If-
what I expect.
Hey, Sasha, be honest. If Robert won, just say it.
it. Play a piano.
He's not going to say it because he's Sasha. He gets a unique sadistic thrill on making my life a living hell.
Oh, it's not that
Oh,
bad.
that's mean.
We have a user submission from someone who would like to be called a captain at sea in Seinfucker's court.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Hello,
there's-
Captain at Sea at Seinfucker's court.
Their song recommendation is String Quartet number 8 by Shostakovich.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
great.
Okay, and they say, I think that someone is trying to kill me. Well, maybe it ain't that bad, but I at least think I'm being followed or watched. I can't give too many details in case they intercept this message and figure out how I've been keeping tabs on them. I've been approached with information about me that friends shouldn't know. Sometimes I'll be thinking about someone and they'll show up with a group of friends and then they'll disappear the moment I look away. Other times, I'll catch people staring at me using storefront reflections or through their sunglasses. They haven't figured out I can see through the tinting and light polarization. They can have that bit of info for free. So far, nothing big has happened, nothing stolen, no bodily harm, but the mental trauma has become unacceptable. I will not stand for this. It has started to become all I can ever think about. I feel that I no longer can govern my own soul. What should I do? P.S. The man from Comcast working on my lines winked at me through the window. Well, here's my recommendation, a captain at sea in Seinfucker's court. Take your antipsychotics.
You meds now. Yeah, that's wonderful. Here's my advice to you. Stop trusting. Don't trust them anymore. Lock your doors at night and look both ways when you cross the street. Under that manhole.
Are you not doing that normally?
Robert, you gave your advice, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm shutting up now.
I like that you're both like kind of whispering at times with this answer, as if like our conversation, which is being publicly broadcasted, is being like listened to by another entity that's not supposed to listen to our public podcast.
Yes, and if they don't stop soon, I'll have words for them. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's my mom in her class in the other room.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the man from Comcast is listening. But listen,
that is a good part of that.
And also, Sasha, one last thing. Cut my life into pieces. This is my
last cream tort.
Yeah, but how does the song
it's
go?
Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I come out bleeding. And the fucking
My dad used to sing that while making the worst tuna smoothies.
Okay, actually,
no, I never even answered. I didn't even get a chance to answer this.
What?
Here,
and you'll never get to.
what? No. Yeah, you know what I say? Wink back at them. All right. When you see them, just give them a little wink. Just go, and then give them a little like a little click of the tongue,
Especially if you're jerking it.
Yeah, and maybe jerk it a little bit. Just just be like, and then if they confront you, you just go, "Hey, man, I got crabs. It's a little itchy down there."
I know this is a little bit late to bring this hypothetical up, but
no, let's do it.
Let me ask you this, Robert. You're standing in line at a bank, right?
Sure.
And someone taps you on the shoulder. It's an attractive young woman, and she starts talking with you. You start vibing a little bit. And then you feel something hit your lip, like a liquid, like a warm liquid, and you taste it. It tastes really salty, and you look over, and some guy is very hurriedly putting his dick away. What do you do?
Do I believe that the woman and the guy are in cahoots?
What do you do, Robert?
I
what are you
would
doing?
touch my lip and look down at it. Like I would wipe it away with my fingers and look down. And if it's white, I'm going to chase the dude and beat his ass.
Yeah. But you're going to eat his ass?
You're going to eat his ass.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation. No breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding.
Suffocation, no breathing.
Because I'm losing my sight.
Well, this was my last episode.
Come
on. We love you, Robert.
We love you, Robert.
That makes two of us.
Come and knock on our door.
Because there's three people in the podcast and it's not me.
Oh, that's well. Sasha actually cut that part. That's
No, don't. Let me be with my sadness.
All right. Well. On the count of 3.
Cut this like 2 minutes before.
All right, guys.
we're
Well, thank
here.
you so much for joining us, everybody. This is another episode of Seinfuck in the Books.
Theme
That's
song,
Robert
theme
Delilah,
song, theme
Malcolm McLeod, Harper, Buck Harper, at your service once more. Every week, lovable producer, Sasha, husband. Sasha, give a bow, take a bow. My roommate, wonderful roommate. Thank you so much for coming in. My dog,
Thank you to Harper's Dog
my dog,
Sarge.
Sarge. Hello.
The Bill and Melinda Gates
Oh
Foundation.
my God.
And thank you, Michelle Obama.
Thank you, Michelle and the Michelle Obama Band.